Hi everyone, Rebecca here. Today I'm going to talk to you about the Children's Book Council of Australia shortlisted books in the picture book category. Now I'm just going to quickly read to you what the picture book category is because it's an important thing to understand. Entries in this category should be outstanding books of the picture book genre in which the author and illustrator achieve artistic and literary unity, or in wordless picture books where the story, theme, or concept is unified through illustrations. Ages 0 to 18 years. Note, some of these books may be for mature readers. And that is the reason why one of the shortlisted books is actually not in my pile of books, and I actually haven't read it because I didn't get it. Because when I looked at the publisher's website, it actually said for 14 plus. And that was the book called The Good Son, A Story from the First World War Told in Miniature by Jules Ober and Felicity Coonan. Text by Pierre-Jacques Ober. Now, because I haven't seen it, I can't make comment on it. It's possible that you could use it for younger audiences, but I was just going from publisher recommendations. Okay, so the books that I am going to talk to you about are picture books that I have got that are suitable for children up to the age of 12. So the first one, we'll start with the younger audiences, or the ones I think for younger audiences. Now, I have to say I love Stephen Michael King, so anything that he does, I absolutely adore because I love his illustration style with ink and with pen and watercolour. This is the story of Three. Three is a street dog. He has 3 legs, hence the name Three, and it's just a story of his life in the city and the perspective that he has. Now, the beautiful thing about this is that he sees everything in terms of the number of legs it has. So when he refers to a human, he refers to them as 2 legs. When he refers to a horse, it's a 4 leg. When he refers to a spider, it's an 8 leg. And it's just beautiful illustrations about what life is like for Three in the city. And I love how he gets around. You can see his little marks there, the little red dots, and the way that he is described as getting around 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's a beautiful story about how he lives in the city, and then eventually how he finds his way out of the city and finds a home with a family who need Three. It's beautiful. The next one is, I'm just going to grab Tilly. Now, Tilly reminded me quite a bit of Magnolia Moon, which is one of the books that's shortlisted in the younger reader category. This is the story of young Tilly, who lives in a very busy household. Her brothers and sisters seem to fill the house up with their presence, and Tilly sometimes feels like no one notices her. And so what she does is she finds her own special little place on the step leading up to her room, and she discovers that she can put her treasures in there. So she starts putting her little treasures out in there, and then she pulls these things out whenever she feels that she really needs something special. But then something happens, and Tilly can't get those treasures anymore. And it's just the story of how she has to deal with that. Now, I found the first time I read it, I was quite disappointed, and it took me a while to work out. I read it back to some children in the library, and we talked about what it is. Why would I feel like I didn't like this book in particular? And we came to the conclusion that was because it didn't have a happy ending as such. So this is really a book about for you to reflect on when you're reading it with kids. So it's just about life in a household, busy family, and then you get to reflect. The next one is Noop. Now, when you look at Noop's cover, you think, oh, this is just, quite an innocent kind of young children's book, but it's not. It actually has a lot of deeper meaning in it, and so therefore it could be used with all the children in primary school. And sometimes and maybe preschoolers might not get it so much, but you could try. So it's the story of Noop, who is the young bear here, and his dream of going to greater places. Now, he lives in a second-hand store. If you live in Canberra, you'd be aware of the Green Shed. It kind of reminds me of the Green Shed. It's this emporium of all these second-hand things. And the toys that are also in that store pretty themselves up have the magical ability to do this, and then they get bought and taken away, and Noop's the only toy left. And so Noop has to dream big and work out what can he do to find his place in the world. So he uses his imagination and comes up with this beautiful way of finding his way out of this store. It's a lovely story. There's a lot to talk about in it. And then I'll go on to the next one, is this one here, Hello Night Lighthouse. Now this is unusual because I'm pretty sure that this one was written in 2018, and so I'm not quite sure how it's ended up in this year. But anyway, it's the story of the lighthouse, and it's a historical fiction, I suppose, and it tells you about the lighthouse keeper, his life, how he finds out, how he gets a wife, what the communications they have, where they go, and how they have a child, and it's just like the story of this lighthouse, and eventually how the lighthouse keeper and his family have to leave. So, as you would expect from Sophie Blackall, absolutely gorgeous illustrations, and just a lovely story to talk about what life was like in the past. Okay, and the last one, now save this for last, I only got this today because it has been difficult to find. I Need a Parrot. Now this is a laugh out loud book, well it is for an adult anyway. Chris McKimmie. Now I have to be honest and say that I haven't ever really got his other books, but this one I really do. I Need a Parrot. It's about a young boy who really wants a pet as a parrot. And it goes through all the reasons that he should have a parrot or why he needs a parrot. And just McKimmie has a very unusual illustration style, okay? And so it's just talking about, what he doesn't want, what he does want, and then there's this beautiful ending with the parrot, when he eventually will get a parrot, what happens to the parrot, and where it goes to from then. So if you're at my school and you're watching this, this is the one that I would actually suggest that you read to the kids, because this one is quite funny. But I think they will really identify with this. And it also could possibly be used if you wanted to teach about persuasive text. Now you heard my dog barking then and me going, shh, that's my daughter just got home. So I was just telling it just to be quiet while I did this. So they're the 5 books that I've read. And thanks for listening.